Life in the hologram, in the hologram, in the hologram, in the hologram, in the hologram.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's a good something somewhere in the universe as we speak. And welcome to Life in the Hologram on Friday, 9/27/24 with Madeline Rudy and Caroline Bell Tumblety. And here we are again, Caroline. I don't know. You have your...
I forgot. Yep.
Yeah, you're muted and you're not on camera.
I'm on camera here. I can see
Really?
me. Yeah, I can see me.
I don't see you.
I can see you. I can see Zoe. I can
Really?
see Talib. Yeah. Can you guys see me?
I just see your little pictures.
Yeah, I can see you.
You can see me. It's just you, Madeline.
I guess.
Honestly, Skype has just had one up going all week because yesterday when we had our guest, we couldn't see anybody for a minute on my end, and like he was having some issues connecting. And I think last time I was on with Solaris, her screen went black, and so she was like, "I don't know if you're there, but."
Yeah, never a dull moment, right?
There you are.
You see me now?
No, I went over and I clicked the thing, allow incoming video.
You were blocking me.
Always something going on, isn't it?
Yeah.
But here's what our little card has to say today. Believe in your dreams. Aim high, honor your brilliance. Aim high, honor your brilliance. Remember, you have help.
Oh, I like that.
That feels very personal today.
Yeah, right? Madeline has a knack of that, you know? She really does. Like, she'll send me a card and it's like, that is timely. And she's like, well, I guess I'm doing my job.
Every time she sends me one, I'm like, yep, I needed that today.
Yeah, it's like, God. Yeah, you got something there, Madeline.
I don't know. It puzzles me.
I don't know why.
A lot of people say that. It's like, oh, you were right on point. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
Well, next week we're going to have a psychic on. I think Zoe's psychic. Well, you're psychic too, aren't you, Caroline?
Yeah.
I think everybody is, right? Just their environment's like, yeah, Madeline. Yeah.
Well, she does card readings and such, so she'll be doing some readings for people if they're interested. Mystique on Barry.
Huh. I don't think I'm familiar with her. Have you had her on before?
No.
No?
She's out of Las Vegas.
Oh, cool. We know some people in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Are you in Las Vegas, Talib?
I'm in Las Vegas.
Oh, cool.
Really?
Cool.
Yeah.
Did he go to Tina's train store?
Tina's train store? Where's that at? Where is it?
I think it's called. Is it West End Trains?
Yeah,
I think so.
Trains.
Yeah. She was the one that did the KCOR radio that they were on. We were on for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you should check it out. Awesome. Yeah.
I definitely will do that.
She was looking.
Miss Tina is fantastic. Shout out to Tina.
She was looking for somebody that knew how to do some program. I forget the name of it at the moment, but it was to upload her trains and stuff to be able to put that in the computer, I guess, with pictures, prices, and descriptions.
Website. Yeah, like she wants a website, like I guess, product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta go check it out.
Yeah. Did you work in computers, Talib? Like, or you were in like Hollywood? Like there was
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I worked in film and television. Yeah.
Well, so did she.
More production behind the cameras, behind the scenes, in front of the cameras.
Well, you want to go in and find her and talk to her.
Yeah. You probably have some things in common.
Tell her that we know Solaris and tell her I said hello. As soon as you say that you're a friend of Solaris, she'll be like, yeah, what's good? Dude, Tina's awesome. I'm sad they don't have KCOR radio anymore, but I'm really excited for her to do stuff with the trains. I know she was a little bit more
Well,
invested
she
in
said
that.
she might be bringing it back.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh, I
Yeah.
hope so. I thought that was really wonderful, having that like local radio station.
Right there in Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'm
she
not-
loves the music. If you
I'm
want
not
to.
going anywhere.
Are you staying at Rev Radio? Yeah.
Maybe do both, but
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just feel so busy all the time. You know, I just feel busy, busy, busy. Like, I'm not really complaining. I could, but I'm not, you know. Like, I was actually talking to my neighbor the day, and we were saying, and I said to her, I'm happy. And she went, You're happy? And I was like, Oh, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. And she's like, Yeah, I'm happy too. We were just going back and forth, and it was like, you know, and then I was like, yeah, and I really love me. She's like, yeah, I really love me too.
That's great.
We were just like having a chat in the close and the where the apartment doors are. Yeah, it was kind of cool. So it was. She's a hard worker. She takes care of like elderly. Like she's a she's a cool woman. So she is. Yeah. Huh. So come on, tell me what's been happening. Who did you have on your show yesterday?
Yesterday we had Derek Condit, who is a psychic and a medium and a seer. I think
I had him
you
on.
guys.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, yeah, I was like, I think
yeah.
one of you had him on. And yeah, he was really awesome. Solaris suggested, she was texting me just now. Solaris had suggested that I reach out to him, and so when we connected, I was really excited, but we didn't really have a chance to have a real conversation. Because there was just this back and forth, and he's not actually on Skype super often. And so I'm over here messaging him on Skype because I didn't think to like find him on the internet, because sometimes when I go look for people online, they get weirded out because I'll find their social media super fast. But so I was like, maybe I don't do that this time, and I just message him on Skype because that's the only like consensual contact I had. And he was like, oh yeah, no, he was like, that would be super great. And we didn't have a real conversation about anything. And she was like, oh, be careful, he'll read you like a book. Tee. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. People say that all the time, but they never do. No, this man opened my book and just said, oh hey, and he just started flipping through pages, and he was reading me and Talib. Like, we both were just talking earlier, like we feel really seen in a way that we're not used to, because people don't see that kind of stuff about us. And he was telling us stuff that I know he didn't know previously. Like, it's definitely stuff we didn't talk to him about. And like, he and Talib hadn't had any contact prior to the show. And he was telling us stuff, and it was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, he's so legit. Like, I have those experiences a lot with reading people and getting downloads and being able to psychically see auras and guides and stuff around them. And I don't hear people talk about it very often. So he was saying things that I was like, oh my God, that's me. That's me. I finally, someone understands. Like, this is so exciting. Like,
yeah, I liked
it was really awesome.
I really did. I liked him. I thought his energy was kind of cool. I thought he was really,
It's very chill.
He is. Yeah. And
Super
he
nice
has
guy.
like quite a broad spectrum, you know, like his range.
Where's he at?
Definitely.
In the UK?
No,
Washington.
He's
Washington State.
Yeah.
I thought he was in Oregon, just Washington.
I thought he was too. Yeah, he's in Washington. I think probably kind of close to Oregon based on where he was talking. I'm not super familiar with that region, just like where I lived up there was like, you know, South Oregon. But he's like South Washington, kind of like a little bit outside of Portland, I believe. And there's the Bigfoot Fest up there, so they're going to be going to Bigfoot Fest and doing some stuff. We opened our show just like outright diving right in, talking about Bigfoot and Sasquatch and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. Like, we didn't even get a real introduction, and it was just like, Bigfoot, like, what? And then we just kind of...
That's good. It's really good. Yeah. Have you had experience with Bigfoot?
I have not personally. I've had a few friends that had experiences with Bigfoot. I have seen other weird things in the woods, but never Bigfoot. And I always thought that was interesting. I had a friend that saw Bigfoot. She was telling us a story. I couldn't possibly do her story justice, but it took place a few years back when she was like babysitting, and she said it was one of the scariest things she'd ever seen because she didn't really believe in that stuff.
Mhm.
And her friends over multiple days had the same experience, basically saw the same thing, and they were just like, oh my God, like, is that what I think it is? And was describing just how haunting it was to see a creature that was that big that wasn't a bear, basically. And she was just like, I don't
Yeah.
understand. It like broke her brain. She was like, I don't understand how that can exist out there. And it was just kind of minding its business from what I understand. And most of the stories that even Derek was sharing, like Bigfoot was it's just vibing, just doing its thing, just existing, and just happened to be seen by people periodically. And so he was just like, I think they just exist. They're just out there doing their
Yeah.
thing, you
Where
know.
was that at?
My friend is in Oregon, and then Derek had seen his in Washington, just like just outside of what did he say, a prison that he worked at, a correctional facility that he worked at.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he was like driving to work and saw it, and he was just like, whoa.
Wow. What about you, Madeline? Have you ever seen a Bigfoot?
No.
Talib? You?
Seen a Bigfoot? No, I've never seen a Bigfoot. I did meet somebody that was responsible for staging one of the hoax.
Mhm.
I know that one of the earliest Bigfoot footages, not pictures but footage, is a hoax. Because
Yeah.
I worked with the guy who actually did it, you know, and but I've never personally seen a Bigfoot. I don't think I would, because I think they pretty much stay around wooded, dense areas, you know.
Mhm.
Humans tend to stay near what we call the watering holes, where all the resources are. But there are millions of square miles of dense forest that is unexplored by man right here in the United States of America.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah.
and I believe there are things that with certain levels of intelligence that still exist, but they stay within those dense areas. There's you know, plenty of room and area for them to move around in, because
Yeah, it's
there's a lot of
protected.
area that we're not occupying. You know, we just, as society and as the way the human mind works, we look at our population and the area we inhabit, and we think of the whole world like, oh, that's where man is all over Earth, but that's not true at all. Like, there's
No.
lots of areas of land, mountains and forests that we're not in. We don't ever
Right.
visit. We'll never film. They haven't had Amazon scan that area and Google map it all out for you yet. You know, there's plenty of that left, and I think that's where a lot of Bigfoot and cryptics of that nature, that's where they are. I think that's why a lot of people go missing in national parks here in America,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
of all of that area that is really, you know, uncharted for us. And I think there's certain agreements made that they still honor, that we stay out of your area, you stay out of ours. And that's why people who see it are usually hiking, or they live in a town that's it's so far out from normal society that they're near the dense wooded areas. So every now and then you see them walking along those areas, you know. That's just my belief. I don't really think they come out to our area like that.
I don't
There's no
think
need
so
to,
either.
you know?
Yeah. You know, we have sightings every year. I would say every winter. Big cats in Scotland. And Scotland's not a very big country, but we have a lot of land that is uninhabited. You know, a lot of mountain ranges, forests, you know, like most of the people are all kind of concentrated in areas. You know, there might be some like around the coast, like not as heavily populated, but we have big cats, you know, like Black Panthers. We have big cats.
So crazy. I did not know that there were
every
cats
year,
up there.
Yeah, every year we
As they
get photographed.
as they've been expanding in Las Vegas, we've been getting like mountain lions. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had those.
Oh wow.
actually walking into the city.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
We had
Mhm.
mountain
Those cougars
lions
are
in
like, listen,
Sedona.
man, it's
But I
time for me
think
to
as
come
you
play
get
my game.
farther west and north, you have a lot of land that's uninhabited.
Right. And a bear has like a massive range.
I mean,
Like,
I was
Yeah.
up in a town,
yeah.
I think Montana, the Yak. It was called Yak, Montana. I think the population was 9.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
I want to move there. Yeah.
It was only about 10 or 15 miles away from British Columbia. So it
Which is
was
Wow.
up
beautiful.
there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places like that still, that where the people still live near these densely wooded areas that aren't where the what we call resources,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
I think that's where a lot of them are. I've
Yeah.
I was
never
in places in
had the chance to
Nevada
see
too,
one though.
where there was only 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have a lot of stories there? I bet they seen a lot of, what would some say supernatural or paranormal
I don't know. I
things.
didn't get to talk to any of the 10.
Oh.
You didn't talk to any of them.
But it was pretty sparse out there.
Well, look at the oceans. I mean, they
Yeah,
have
we
not been
talked to-
explored. Like, I mean, that's a massive, massive bodies of water,
We've only explored like 7.82% of the ocean,
it's
and
like
that
tiny.
terrifies me actually, because
Mhm.
I'm like, you're sitting here. First of all, you're telling me Godzilla isn't real, but you can't prove it. Listen, like,
Kaiju.
I saw
Yeah.
Pacific Rim. That stuff can come out of somewhere. Like,
I like that movie. Yeah.
yeah, dude, yeah, like Godzilla is like that's a big thing, and my dad and I,
Yeah.
my dad was a big fan of Godzilla, but I was making jokes as a kid, like, one day Godzilla's gonna just show up, but it's not gonna be the way that we're anticipating. He's not gonna look the way we think he is, but he's gonna come out as some ripped in time, like in the middle of the ocean out there, because like I don't know, the Ring of Fire, like nobody explores that particular area of the ocean. They only go so far and then they just stop, like hard stop. And we've only explored like little percentages of the Marianas Trench. Like there's a particular area that they've been looking at. And I think I was watching, I watched the movie Underwater with Kristen Stewart.
Mm.
And like the acting wasn't super great. It wasn't terrible. It was just like, it was all right. But the terrifying thing for me was the reality that they probably are doing something similar to that in the movie, where they have this like underwater mining that's like miles and miles into the water and all this serious pressure and stuff. Like the monster movie that became, because I didn't know that's what it was. I thought it was just gonna be like I don't know. I don't know what I expected, but it became a monster movie super fast, and I was not prepared. And it was as scary as an alien movie you're not anticipating, except that it was underwater. And for whatever reason, like the water scares the absolute life out of me. Like I can't go to big bodies of water anymore. I can't go to parts of the ocean. Like there's just some energy in the water that feels like a threat constantly. And so like I can't go into certain lakes. There's a lake out in Las Vegas. I don't know if it's part of Lake Mead or if it was a different smaller lake. I'm not entirely sure like how we got out there, but there's a lot of like really soft sand and stuff, and it's like people go swimming all the time, but it's really deep and really dark, like black water. And I went out there with my ex-boyfriend years ago. I mean, obviously we were dating at the time, but some of his coworkers and their friends went out there, and we went to meet them, and I was having a panic attack like the whole time we were there. And they were trying to get me to go in the water, and I just was I was so unsettled and like rattled to my bones. And I was like, I don't know what's in that water, but something is going to kill me. If I'm in this water, I'm gonna die. And they were like, oh my God, you're so dramatic. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like I saw God a couple years ago. I don't ask questions anymore. Like not like I ask questions obviously, but I don't question if something is a threat to me. Like if something in me says GTFO, like I'm not asking questions. I'm not gonna ponder it. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go. We're gonna get out. And something about that water just had me so unsettled. I felt like there was like a hole in the ground somewhere, and like maybe there was like a riptide or like an undercurrent or something that people didn't know about. And maybe just the area we were in had something, or maybe there were bodies in there. I don't know. It just had the vibe of death about it. And when I was up in Oregon, we went out to the beach and we were playing in the water, and we were only up to like our ankles. Like we weren't in very much. It was cold. It was very cold. And my roommate at the time, she was just like, man, I'm getting a weird feeling playing in the water over here. And I was like, yeah, something's telling me we need to go. And so we left the beach and we went hiking a little bit, and we went up to these like warm springs. And I gotta tell you, I had the same kind of panic attack at the warm springs, even though there was like 10 people there. There was just a bunch of chill strangers like hanging out, but something told me we were in danger. Like something did not want me to be there, and I couldn't figure out if it was the folks like sitting at the warm springs or if there was like something in the forest, because as you're saying, like people go missing up there all the time. Like we were in an area of the forest that you don't want to be at after dark without a group of people and some kind of protection, because like when I went up there, they were talking about the tree people and how people would just disappear all the time. And there were cannibals like out there and like all kinds of other unexplained phenomena. Like it just was not, it's just not some place you want to be like camping or vibing out like without serious precautions. And we're sitting in this like warm springs, and they're telling me that there's like a volcano that's like keeping it heated, whatever, that's like miles away. And that made me uncomfortable because I can't handle volcanoes. They scare me so bad. But I was just like, I couldn't sit in the water. And there was like there's these little like sulfur snakes that are in the sand and stuff. No, I could not handle it. I was a mess. And finally I convinced Renee and Kimmy to like go, because it was my roommate and her friend. And I was like, we need to go. And Renee was like, yeah, I'm pretty uneasy and I have to work tomorrow. And it's still like a 2-hour drive home. Like we should go. And Kimmy really wanted to stay, and I really wanted her to be able to stay and enjoy it because she was having a really great conversation with these people, but there was something sinister in that area, and I felt like something was watching us. And then we get in the car and we're going back, and the girls, like, they just looked at me and they were like, did you feel like something was watching us? And I was like, yes, absolutely. We would have been something's dinner to some degree. Like I'm glad that we left. Like, I'm sorry for those people if they didn't get out fast enough. Maybe they had a great time and we're just chicken shits. I don't know, but I'm glad that we left because something was just unsettled. And we got home, and a couple weeks later, that same area, somebody had gone missing. And I was just like, no, we weren't even that far into the forest either. We were like 10 minutes into the forest. Like it was a short walk from the parking lot, and that's where somebody went missing, was at those hot springs. And I was just like, no, dude. And I don't know. It's just like nobody could explain where she went. Like she just disappeared like within her group at the hot spring. And all I could think of was like, oh, the hot spring monster got her. She just like fell into a hole. I don't know. Like it was just super unsettling, and with just how much we don't know about the inside of the planet. I totally believe that, you know, Agartha is a thing. I think that there is like an inner circle of the planet that people don't think about, because if you think about the cave systems that we have, like
underground cities,
like like there's like people live in caves in like whole communities out there. And it, especially up in the Pacific Northwest, like there are people eat the Appalachian Mountains. There's mountain people out there too, and they just, I don't know, maybe they have like societal stuff, maybe they have power, maybe they go to the grocery store, maybe they got kicked out of their homes, and living in the mountain and living off the land is great and all. Maybe they're just not quite human. I don't know. I don't want to find out personally. Like
well, I think you have to trust your gut, you know, when you get like vibes to no go. But other times I think these vibes can actually be like something trying to prevent you from actually learning something or discovering something.
Oh, definitely.
You know, sometimes these obstacles like are kind of trying to knock us off our path. But I mean, I remember being in where was it? Payson, Arizona, and we had like a campfire, but I remember that feeling of being watched. Like, I remember it. Like, I remember, like, kind of looking around and going, do you feel like there's something kind of watching? And the
Something's
person
always watching you.
something's always watching. But you know what was really weird? We had parked the car down because we had kind of hiked up. And when we went to the car, I had left like bottled water in the back of the car. And there was muddy prints, but they were only like 4 digits. And they were, the way that they were angled on the car, they would have had to have been on top of the roof of the car, and
Oh my gosh.
the hands down like that to open the boot. The only thing they took for the car was the water.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I always remember that. And I always remember
think you
thinking,
told me
what
that
the,
once.
did I tell you that before? It was just so bizarre, you know? Like that feeling of being watched and then seeing these little weird handprints.
Like weird little,
You know?
weird little
Yeah.
finger toes. Like, wait,
Yeah, it
excuse
was
me.
weird.
Like, also, that was my water. Rude. No, just
Well,
kidding.
it was Arizona. I figured like that was
Oh, that's right.
probably,
Yeah, we did talk about that because we were like, because I've been out that way and there's just weird things. Like, just
Very
weird
weird.
Nobody can explain any of it. Nobody knows what it is. It's just a very bizarre thing that happens.
There. What is it? The Mogollon? The Mogollon
Yeah.
monster? They have a monster there. And they were telling stories that night. I remember that, and it was about the monster. So I don't know if we were freaking ourselves. But no, the handprints were definitely on the car. Like, I saw them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about something the other day, like the little monsters around the United States, and like little monsters, little goobly gobblies, I don't know, little fairies, little, I don't know what, little mutants. And I wonder sometimes like how normal people just don't experience that stuff unless they're in very particular areas of the country. And then they're like local legends, but then you have other people who are like, oh, that can't possibly be true. I've never seen anything like that. And it's like, do you go outside? like, what do you mean you've never experienced these things? Like, it happens all the time. Like, where are you at that you're not seeing these things? Like, it's so crazy to me because people are like, oh yeah, here's this local legend, but I've never experienced it. And it's like, you've been here for 20 years and every one of your neighbors has a story, but you don't. I don't trust you. Like, there's something wrong with you if the goobly gobblies don't come anywhere near you.
Story. Yep. Yep. Yeah. What about you, Madeline, out in Arizona? Did you ever see anything? Well, orbs, right? You saw a lot of orbs.
Yeah, orbs.
Did you ever see like what? Well, Jeff Wilwine calls them the petroglyphs in the sky, but there was a movie or a documentary that they called it the Phoenix Lights. Did you ever see them when you were out there?
No.
I saw them. I did. I saw them. Regular.
No, I told you I was sitting in my apartment the one night and I hear, go out to Boynton Canyon. It's like, go out to Boynton. Okay. I don't really have anything to do. I'll go out to Boynton Canyon. So I drive out there. I go in the parking lot and I sit down. You know, I get out of my car and I said, I'm here. Now what? Nothing happened. So I got in the car and I'm driving down the road and I pulled alongside of the road. I said, I'm still here.
Wow.
I said,
was it
okay.
like a super pretty starry night or anything? Or like there was just nothing of...
No, it was like kind of like at dusk. It wasn't like dark out.
Hmm.
It was like
maybe you were supposed to
evening.
be out of the way of some other calamity like happening in town or something.
It's like, well, I'm here. Okay. I'll go home now.
You're like, thanks. That was a nice drive, I guess.
Was it a nice drive?
Yeah. Well, I lived down in the kind of in the village. I lived at like at back of Beyond, if you know where that is.
Yeah.
It's kind of near the chapel. So I had to drive up the hill and over the dale and way back into where Enchantment Spa was, or Enchantment Lodge. And I told you about that too. That was a strange thing.
That was a strange place. Yeah.
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 Because me and my friend just walked in there. Nobody even asked us if we had an appointment, what we were doing there. But I said, something's not right in this place. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was something underground. But I said, it's something's not right here.
Mm-hmm. Some of the people that I saw in Sedona, I mentioned that to you before. They look right. There was something. There was one guy, I remember, and it was like his neck. Like I kept looking at his neck. There was just something not quite right there. Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah, there's some strange birds out there.
There is. Arizona is a strange place. Very strange place. What about you, Talib? Like, you've probably encountered something strange.
He can go out to Area 51, can he?
Yeah.
Isn't that near you?
Oh, area. I actually worked on Ancient Aliens.
Oh, cool.
Ah.
Yeah, I worked on it with them, and we went out to Area 51.
And then what happened?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't leave it there.
Well, we went to that area called like the Hornet's Nest, which is this area that sort of overlooks and you can sort of see far off down toward Area 51. We had a guide with us, this guy who was a UFO hunter. And so we went there. That was a strange place. I guess you could say strange. It was weird. It was a weird place, yeah. But we went there in the daytime, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't necessarily see anything, but it is unusually quiet. Like when they left off to go do stuff and I was sitting back, like as soon as they were gone around the ridge, it was like no sound.
No birds?
No sound, no wind.
Wow.
No birds, no crickets, no rustling bushes.
Silence.
Like dead silent. But nothing happened. And I think what ended up happening was we had one of them guards come out in the black SUV.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't come up to us. They was like off in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they knew what they was doing because they parked in a way that the sun would reflect off the car and sort of shine in our face. It was very clever. Like, how did he know to sit right there that the light off the car is going to bounce in our faces like that? And the dude was just saying, like, yeah, we can't go no further than this here. But tomorrow I'm going to take you guys over to a mine. And in this mine that's closed down, it's an abandoned mine. There's supposed to be a back way into Area 51 from there.
Ah.
So we went to the mine the next day, which was in the middle of absolutely nowhere. There was the only thing I think there was like this scary barn that looked dilapidated and standing in the middle of nowhere. Like, it was scary. It was
Just to
scary
be
because it was
creepy. Yeah.
like if somebody's staying there, this person has some sort of issue that they have to go this far away from society. But we get up to the mine, which is, when I say in the middle of nowhere, we're on a dirt road that has no real labels on it. There's no sign. So he's like, no, make a right here, go down this dirt route for like 4 or 5 miles. We come into another dirt road, make a left here, go up, make a right, and next thing you know, we end up going around some bend, and there's going up into the mine. So I helped them get all the equipment, everything up there. I'm with the guy with the hair. You know, the guy
that guy
with the
that
hair?
comes, he has his hair.
Giorgio
like
Tsoukalos.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Giorgio,
exactly.
Yeah. Giorgio
Let me tell you,
Tsoukalos.
this man, I don't care what he say, I say it to his face. He's a fraud. He doesn't really care about this stuff. He cares about ratings, about a show.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't really care.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
You know, he goes to these things, and I'm telling you. Anyway, we go up here. I'm like, I'm not going in no.
I'm not going in the
I don't
cave.
need to go into no cave. I'm not going in a cave. I'll wait with the car and the equipment in the middle of nowhere, but I'm not going in there. So they took the equipment and was going to start walking in the cave. I go down because it's like a mining area. So there's little like mining, like little shacks and stuff. You could tell it's where people would come out from the mine and get together, work, whatever, eat. And I go back down to the cars and I'm standing at the car and I look up at the sky. And this is in going into April. Okay. This is you have to understand what time of the year it is. So you have to be clear when I say this. There was a black cloud that formed in the sky right in front of me. The darkest thunderstorm cloud I think I've probably ever seen in my life. And it rolled over the sky. Like I've never seen anything move that fast. It literally, you ever see a cloud form?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, well, that's what happened. It was like somebody fast forwarded the cloud forming and you seen it build up into this black and it just spread and it began blizzarding.
Wow.
Snow and the temperature dropped by 20 degrees and it's snowing like all out blizzard. Oh my God, what in the world? Like, and then there's a foot of snow. Like, in something like 10 minutes, there's a foot of snow. They come running down because we didn't have any equipment, anything to protect their equipment, right? Nobody thought they'd be in rain or snow. We're in basically April in the desert, you know? And so they come running down. Everybody gets in their cars. They like, what is happening? Oh my God, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. Everybody back up and turn around. Remember, this is not a real road. So we all have to be careful when we're trying to make a U-turn, not to go over the side of the little thing. So everybody turn around and we go down the little runway thing. And as soon as we get back to the little dirt road, the clouds just rolled and the sun just came out.
Wow.
It stopped snowing. And then he led us back to that diner, that alien diner. That's where we did a lot of our travel from. And by the time we got to that diner, everyone was sick.
Oh my goodness.
Including myself with like flu-like symptoms though. Not like a cold, but like headache, achy body, chills,
it was the
sweating.
cloud.
It was a cloud,
The cloud
They
did it.
said, get out of
They
there.
probably saw you on camera and said, oh, we're getting these guys out of here.
Blast them with the super nano
I believe
sick
they followed
stuff.
us back to the hotel. They followed us back to our hotel that night.
Oh my gosh.
The night before. They knew we went up to that mine, which means that mine has some entranceway into that dome.
Right.
Because
it has something in there.
It's an underground facility. Which the majority of the facility is underground.
They might have had
But
the
the
little
most important
grays
thing
in there.
Nevada actually produces here is shell. We produce the bullets. That's what for most of the state of Nevada. That's why 80% of it is government owned, and like I think of that 80%, 60 is military, specifically to the military.
I think you have some gold out there too.
Yeah.
Well,
because the place I was in
actually finds gold, who does the pan stuff with the metal, and he goes out and he still finds pieces of gold.
Well, there's a gold mine out there in the area that I was in, and the Bush family are, particular owners of it, but it's not like big nuggets. It's like sandy gold.
Like dust.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the states, and especially in Nevada, is granite. Is the granite. Granite is the material they use. You ever see a pen that has that thing that looks like metal, but it's like plastic? That's granite. You can't really build on that. That's why they have a hard time building out here. That's why certain areas of Vegas they can't build it. And that's why they also use that in kitty litter. And we produce 80% of America's kitty litter.
And it's getting more and more expensive.
Yeah, it is. Oh my goodness. kitty litter is wildly expensive. Like,
how much are you paying? How much?
Well, I have 3 cats, and at least one of them uses the box very frequently, so it's a lot more cleaning than I'm used to. But I spend probably $60 to $100 a month to every month and a half on cat litter. And I only have 2, I have 2 really big cat boxes. I know some people are going to freak out because I don't have 12 of them in my house, but I have 2 really small cats and a fairly normal sized cat. But yeah, I have gone between like the tidy cat stuff. I've used some of that pine bit stuff. I've used like the wood shavings stuff. I've used pretty litter. Like, it just depends on what kind of litter your cat likes, for one.
Right.
But most of the ones that are really good, low tracking, don't smell really bad, don't have super crazy like extra chemicals and scents in them. Like, it's like $30 a bag, and it only fills like maybe 1 litter box, and you can't like use it to refill. So sometimes I think I spent $250 on cat litter one time a few months back because I was buying the fancier like wood chip one because it was low track. It was supposed to be like low scent. It had a natural smell to it. It was clumping and all that stuff. It's really good.
Cat, but there's not that much cat in the world that I'm paying $200 a month for kitty litter.
Fair. It's just that like regular cat litter is just so gross and like yeah, but I mean like with some of the wood stuff, like
money.
Every
meow better be $20.
I literally almost started an OnlyFans for my cat called Only Paws, just so I could post cute cat pictures and like cute cat videos and stuff.
Get on that right now.
I told Gigi we're gonna start selling her feet pics because I don't know what else to do. They need to start making money.
Yeah, really.
Some toe beans or something.
Start making their way here.
That's coming out of the cat litter.
Oh my gosh.
Pussy
poop. Yeah.
Bronze pussy poop.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But
it's maybe $12 to $17. But I was looking at litter today and I went to pick it up. I said, forget about it. I can't pick this crap up. I need that lightweight stuff.
Yeah, that's what we got recently was we got like the Tidy Cats lightweight, and it's actually literally physically lighter than normal cat litter, which was deceiving to me because I was like, it's the same litter basically. Why does it weigh a third as much as it usually does?
Yeah, you need we got
we got one of those big containers, those big plastic box containers. And it actually filled both of our litter boxes with a little bit left to like refill, which was really great. Because there's a big litter box. Like this thing is a giant corner box. It's like a size XXL because I was sick of them like throwing cat litter all over the laundry room. And then I have like a top loader one. So they come in from the top and it has like an easy open top to like scoop. And those are the best cat litter boxes I've ever bought. So if anybody's looking at
those automatic ones.
I don't personally recommend them.
Yeah,
they're super expensive and they're also dangerous. People's cats have been getting people's cats have been getting stuck in some of those, and some of the cats are getting like axed out by some of these. I was sharing some stuff on Facebook the other day
to get rid of cats.
Wow. You know, that was what my dad was saying. He was like, I know there's a lot of cat haters in the world, and suddenly there's all these like auto cat boxes that are just suspiciously killing people's cats. Like, we used to have one when I was a kid. All it did was like it was this huge box that had like a comb, and it would just kind of scoop it into like a box at the end of the thing. And like every day you're just supposed to like reload the box or whatever. But we had 3 cats at that time too, and they were kittens. And they just pooped so much that the machine broke. And so it was like, what's the point of having this if like we physically can't keep up with it? So I was like, it's easier to just scoop it yourself. But some of those auto boxes, some of those auto cat boxes though, like they have these like auto doors that come up and down to like sterilize or whatever. but they don't always register if you have more than one cat that goes in like right after the other at a certain time, and they are catching cats, and the doors don't open easily. People have tested out with their own hands and stuff, and the doors don't open easily. Hey, you need to calm down. Speaking of cats, you're okay. You are such a sassy old lady. You're fine. Gigi, leave her alone. Sorry.
That cat better start making her money.
Yeah.
I know, right? I'm over here like
Tonight.
one of them's talking sassy, the other's a comedian, and one does parkour. So I've got there's money in there somewhere. I haven't figured out how to make it yet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I don't recommend those auto cat litter things. They have terrible reviews. Yeah, I'll have to send you some of the videos I've seen of people testing it. It's a really bummer, because it's like, man, I would love to have an auto cleaner, because I'm personally sick of it. I still have a back injury. Like, I haven't been able to get surgery or anything for my back. So bending over, I can't, like, once I clean the cat box, like, I'm out for like a couple of hours. I gotta sit and rest, and like I can't stand long enough to do dishes half the time because like my back is just seizing out. And I'm starting to understand my mom's chronic health issues. Like, my mom, she's got fibromyalgia and other chronic issues, and so like she's always talking about being in pain and tired and stuff. And like, if you have her bend over and do any physical activity for even 5 minutes, she is done for the day. And as a kid, I was like, I don't understand. You didn't do anything. And like, well, now I understand. I'm not super happy to admit it, but I have to do things in very small like pieces right now.
Back?
Yeah, I was going to ask.
In 2022, I was working for a hotel, and apparently they liked to pretend they were the Rainforest Cafe, and they never fixed the alabaster on the building. And so depending on which direction the rain fell, it would flood the inside of the hotel. And so the front desk and the bar, which was all metal and exposed wires, and they had this like weird concrete resin flooring that was so dangerously slippery. And one night I was working and it was pouring outside, and the inside was just absolutely flooding. And we had a bunch of stuff like construction being done around the bar to like open the ceiling more for some stupid reason. And the people that were working on it just left wires exposed. And so stuff was just pouring in. And all I could think of was like, I'm going to have 100 people, because we were booked out that Friday. I was like, I'm going to have 100 people electrocuted, just like chilling in the bar area. So I was desperately trying to get these people out, and they were like yelling at me because like, we're just trying to sit and have a good time, and you got towels and blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, but you might die. So like, if you could just go to your room, or like, I don't know, up where it isn't flooding, that would be super great. And I was pushing a huge cart down the ramp like as quickly as I could to catch what I thought was going to be the ceiling collapsing, because it was like a fire hydrant just pouring in from the ceiling. And so I was trying to catch it in one of our big, like, I think it was like a laundry bucket or something. Like, it was just this huge bucket on wheels. And I slipped on the ramp going down on the water, and my feet went right out from under me like a cartoon character. My feet went straight up, and I landed right on my back, like right on my pelvis. And I just laid there because I couldn't get up. And it took weeks to get in to see a doctor, but they said that I had at least 3 herniated discs, and potentially I had cracked my pelvis. And so my tailbone, which I had broken as a teenager, never quite healed, and they're pretty sure that it might have cracked again. So I have a fractured like bone at the bottom of my spine. And on top of that, like, I already had back problems because I'm large chested. And so they were like, you're gonna struggle. You should do some core exercises. And they wanted me to go see a specialist to get back surgery, but they were like, we might have to put like metal pieces in your spine. And I'm just mostly too chicken shit to look into that right now, because 1, I don't have the money, and 2, I've had friends that had back surgery and ended up paralyzed for a couple of years. So
wasn't the hotel responsible for this?
Yes,
they were. On the property.
Yep, and they deleted the video evidence, and they told me that they didn't have any insurance for workman's comp. So even if I tried to like get anything out of them, the guy didn't have any money because apparently he hadn't been paying his bills. And it turned out it was one of the shadiest hotels I ever worked for. So I was like, oh,
what
that's
about
cool.
Social Security disability?
something. I'm trying to get that in Iowa right now because I'm also unemployed because I was assaulted at work, and I've still been fighting for unemployment. I just had a conversation yesterday with a guy who didn't even let me finish my conversation. Once it got to the 15-minute mark, he just cut me off and was like, I think we have enough. We'll talk to you later. Bye. And just like cut off the phone call.
What?
But I have not had a good time in Iowa. Like, Texas was rough, but I was happier in Texas. But I'm looking into finding a lawyer for both places because my entire life kind of took a huge downward spiral physically in Texas. And I had COVID right before we moved to Texas, and I was bedridden for like 4 months. So that did not help my situation with like physically recovering because I lost a lot of mass. And so it's just the last 4 years have just been terrible, honestly. Like, I'm gonna be real. They have not been great.
What did the psychic say? Did he say better days are coming?
Yes, actually,
Yeah,
I've
good.
had a lot of people say that things are finally like significantly shifting, and they can see like a lot of abundance coming my way for like better people in my life, more money, career stuff. Like, I was very vague with this one girl who did a reading for me on Facebook, and she said that you and your friend, whatever business you're doing, it's going to prosper soon. So just like
Good.
stay strong and believe. And she was like, you're going to get some kind of a compensation soon. Like, did you have a job you didn't collect a 401k from? And I was like, no, but I am going to sue my manager. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's coming through soon because yeah, that was like a whole thing. So, and we have a new like DM at the office here, and she's a woman. So I'm hoping that I can just go ruffle her feathers a little bit and she'll do something about it. But otherwise, I have to sue the whole company, including each individual person involved in the incident, which I'm fine with. Like, I hate them. They're terrible people. And I think they deserve to get their reckoning. Their world needs to be shook up a little bit. But yeah, for me to be thrown into like absolute debt and chaos just because they hate women is if I don't do something, no one else is going to. So that's everyone says it's coming, so it's just around the corner.
Is it coming? Yeah.
It's already here, so
Yeah.
they tell me.
Yes.
I'm a millionaire. Only
Yeah,
thing
that's
is,
what
I can't get to my cash.
Can't get to the money.
Pulling it in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I see it for you. Definitely. I've always seen it for you. Like,
yeah, I was like, I've been looking. I was telling Talib earlier, it's around the corner. Like, genuinely, I can see the light. We're rounding the corner. I can see it. It's right there. I can feel it in my hands.
You have to start getting those cats to pay their way.
I know, right? I gotta go get them a new scratching post.
And then you gotta buy food.
I have to spend about $200 on cat food. Yeah, I have to spend about $200 on cat food because I have to buy them specialty food. So it's and I'm behind because of losing my job. I'm behind like 3 months on the vet plan, and so like one of them still needs to be spayed. So one of them still needs to be spayed, and the other one needs new teeth.
Pick it up.
Yeah, she's still got a ton of loose.
No, I love my kitties. I'm telling you, I'm starting Only Paws. If you like cats, there'll be plenty of toe beans to go around. Actually, I wanted to turn some of my crochet projects into characterizations, like personifications of the cats, so that you can have your own. I want to make like little cards and little like comic book style like shorts of like what the cats, how they think they look versus like how they actually look, kind of like Garfield or Calvin and Hobbes, but slightly less wholesome.
There's some people over on, is it Instagram? No, yeah. And this lady dresses the cat up. And then what does the cat say? Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I really want to crochet them little hats or like little like scarves or little like cloaks or something. Gigi will wear clothes. She's very upset about it. But if I put something on her, she'll just take it. Because when I had to get her spayed and she had her little vest on, she was unhappy as all get out about it. But she put up with it. And so I started making it look cute. And I gave her a little bow on her head for a little bit. And she'll put up with it for about 5 minutes, which is long enough for me to get some pictures to put on Instagram. And then after that, I'm like, here you go. Here's a bag of treats. Just, I love you.
Yeah, well, they got to pay their keep. Good golly, Miss
Right?
Molly.
That's partly why we wanted to do like the tea apothecary and the coffee truck, was we were going to name it after the cats and have the coffee named after each of our cats' personalities and stuff. But
Well, you need
that's
to do
a
something
little bit on
quicker
the
than
back
that.
burner at the moment. Yeah, it's on the back burner at the moment because that was set up for
You need
Texas.
to,
And we're
you
not
need
there
to,
yet,
right
so.
after this show start.
Start taking
If anybody
pictures.
wants to buy some
Yeah.
tea, I have some witch jars and some tea jars. I
Nice.
had a dream about it this morning. Miss B's magical migraine mix. That's what it's called.
Ooh.
M4, and it is tea that I make for when I have a headache. So if you suffer from migraines, just hit me up. I got the best tea
Well,
mix
now
for
how
you.
do
You
they
can
get
thank
in
Mary
touch
for
with
it.
you?
Yeah. tell them.
You can message me on the internets, on social media at Miss B the Cat, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or you can go to my website, missb.net, and I should have the witch jars available either tonight or tomorrow. I'm just waiting for the website to load because my internet's really slow. But I'm setting up a space for Talib to do some sessions, and for you, you can buy merch and stuff right now. But I'm trying to get the witch jars set up so you can order them. They're about, I don't know how big this is, like 2.5 inches, 4 inches. They're like this big. This is a witch's jar for a friend of mine. It's like a protection and self-love jar. So it's got like some sage and some positive herbs and stuff in it for her. But I make them custom. So if you need like a protection spell or a self-love spell or something like that, I make them for you. So
Well, you better go over to TikTok. I think we're
I
coming
know.
up on a break. You've been listening to
Oh.
Life